once again tuning in here, CFN, the Banter Zone, with my man Harry. Today's special guest, Ryan Pinder. Ryan, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks, guys. It was fun. Finally got to the pitch here to watch Foothills FC play this season. And boy, they were looking like a 4-0 side until the final few seconds.
Yeah, it was a tough one. Tough break, that's for sure, in the end.
Yeah. I mean, it was, overall, I think it was a pretty dominant weekend for Foothills once again. And I mean, what was it like for you, hockey background and then now commentating on soccer a little bit? But you didn't seem out of sorts, and I mean, Dave's coming around now, so it was actually really good. So how'd you feel about it today?
Well, I have nothing to compare it to. I'm not a color guy by trade, and the play-by-play I've done's been for hockey. So, as long as the listeners and viewers can handle it, I'm happy. But yeah, it was just to get one under the belt's a good feeling, and the outcome's not obviously what everyone who came to Foothills Composite High School here in Okotoks today didn't really go that way. But I think you're right. The form was phenomenal from the club. Yep. They created a ton of chances. Zachary Nelson was the best player on the pitch today in terms of dictating how the points got distributed. Moses Danto early I thought was especially effective, and the substitutes that came on, Zevi and Musi, were pretty darn solid as well. But I think at the end of the day, you're thinking, how did we create so many chances and end up with one goal, allowing Portland the opportunity for a bounce in the final few moments to tie it rather than to make it 3-1 or 2-1.
Yeah, definitely could have blown those floodgates open, but
it just wasn't happening today for him. It seemed so many just grazing the post. It just wasn't going to come today.
A couple headers over the bar, a few chances in tight that missed, and then diving save, 2 stops on penalty kicks, albeit one where the follow-up on a rebound stood as the only Foothills goal. So,
and I guess to kind of follow up, other stuff this weekend. Was it 2 weeks ago? We had the launch of the CPL Cavalry FC, and you were the MC. So, what from your perspective, what can you say about kind of what happened then?
Nice hats, we know that, eh?
It'd be nice to know what they look like.
It's exciting, and you know what? I think there's probably been a lot of attempts in the last quarter century of professional leagues in Canada, or at least different, incarnations of pro soccer, football, whatever you want to call it in Calgary. But there's a different feel about this one. You can tell the league offices knows what they're doing. They're immensely well organized. All the work they've done has been of the finest quality. And there isn't a sense that you're going to have to convince people that soccer matters or that they should go to this. There seems to be a more genuine curiosity and interest in tell me about the team. Tell me where this level of play is compared to some other leagues. What about Spruce Meadows? Because a lot of people haven't been out there, so they know where it is, but they don't know what it is. So I'm really excited to see everything unfold here, because really what we know is a team name, a few other cities or markets, at least even vague greater area stuff, like what's Port City, BC? Oh, do you know what Port City is? Yeah. Could be a lot of ports.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. It definitely sounds like a Surrey area.
So maybe it's on Vancouver Island, maybe it's in Greater Vancouver. There's certainly a lot of rumors right now, and then that's just the teams. Never mind, how is this league going to run? We did hear from the commissioner and the president of the league at that launch party about some of the nuances of the league. There won't be a playoff. There will be relegation and promotion down the road, if not right off the bat, which I think is a phenomenal component that North American fans haven't got to experience, but it's been a staple of what makes soccer or footy great in Europe and the rest of the world, right? And allows for the greatest minnow stories of all time. Leicester City, a couple of years after promotion, 5,000 to 1. You think Vegas at 500 to 1 is a crazy story for the NHL? How about Leicester City at 5,000 to 1?
Yeah, that's true.
So I like that component, and then roster construction is going to be fascinating. How many imports are you allowed? Where are players going to come from? Is it one big draft? Are there going to be all kinds of different categories? Will you be able to have territorial rights to a player? What if someone's born somewhere, was developed in another city, and plays in a third spot? How does that? There's a lot of gray area that's got to be sifted through. So I think, generally speaking, from the event, excited about the league. Really, I think you've got a rock solid ownership group, and clearly someone that understands the sport and has put a winner on the field in Tommy at the PDL level, and many others, not to mention who's played pro football here in Calgary. So that and Spruce Meadows is one of the most exciting parts for me, because I'm a guy that has been more of a casual fan than a player or a commentator. So you tell me you've got huge infrastructure for beer gardens, bands, pre and post food and beverage.
Sold me at beer gardens.
So, and honestly, you go out there and you can see what pre and post match is going to be.
It's going to be unreal.
Like you can just dream. You say, okay, you can walk by here, and I'm going to go, touch this donkey's nose for good luck, and we're going to get my first beer here, and then the band's going to be there. Like you can just feel this is going to be a place supporters want to be at, and it's not going to be, well, it's year one and we've got these temporary stands in this pitch and there's nothing to do here yet, but maybe by year 5 we'll have, no. They host hundreds of events a year out there. There's already all the infrastructure that will be the envy of the league right from day one. I believe that. So
even David Flanagan pointed out at that during the press conference there at the release. He was talking about how the venue is set up. It's going to be right out of the gates the best venue.
It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be definitely one of the best in the league. That's for sure.
No, and you know what? Like Halifax had their news, and they're essentially there's a city park that overlooks a bridge by the harbor that they're going to put temporary stands in. But the infrastructure that's in place in Spruce Meadows will be second to none in the league. And I just think Canada's ready for this. And then Flanagan, as well as Paul Burns, who's the president, they talked about it where this isn't convincing people that soccer matters. This is a movement of people demanding soccer. Edmonton is saying we need a team. Don't you dare not give us a team. Halifax had a supporters group saying we have to be in this league. It's a total opposite. It's a 180 from most of the history of pro soccer in this country, which, of course you've got hits in Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal in MLS, but the rest of the country saying, hey, we care too, and we need a league for us. And so I couldn't be more excited about the opportunities that the league and the team will present.
Yeah, it's definitely a movement, and it's a movement that we've been looking forward to move in the last, how many years?
It's taken this long. Canada, so since '87, I've been waiting for something to happen here. So it's always been something that's.
And the beauty of it is that you're going to be able to compete with MLS sides in a Voyager Cup or a similar sort of tournament. If not a couple of them, I don't know. But I think early on the question of what's the skill level difference? You have to explain that to North American fans because there are just tiered leagues.
Yeah.
What you understand in Europe is that there's a minnow in the FA Cup every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
And teams from Championship or First Division can stun someone, and you'll have someone in UEFA that is beating a team from a league that's way better, or someone from a tiny league is able to upset someone from the EPL. Like these are some of the nuances that make soccer great that we're finally get to experience in markets outside of just Calgary, Montreal.
The excitement's here. It's gonna roll.
Yeah.
I mean, so you pointed out you're a casual fan. So what's your club?
Barcelona's my squad, which I get bugged a lot for because I suppose they're not an underdog, they're not a lightweight. But does anyone play more beautiful soccer? I always counter.
Are you talking about one player, or are you talking about the team?
Well, I mean, I go back to the Ronaldinho days. Like this is never a boring team to watch. They always assemble talent, and a lot of, if you look back over the course of the last 30 years, the best player in the world, you can always make an argument for someone on Barcelona. Now, do they have deep pockets? 100%.
I was just about to say, the money factor, thank you, Dylan.
I remember doing this.
They're not boring, and I'm telling you, if you want to sell soccer, make people watch FC Barcelona.
Yeah.
No one's going to have a tough time. They score a ton of goals, they're creative, they press defensively, they're creative and gorgeous offensively, and they nearly went undefeated, and somehow the season will feel like a failure this year because they flamed out to Roma up 4-1 going on the road in Champions League.
I'm not complaining about that. I'm taking that all day.
Yeah, well, and so it's funny because Tommy's an Everton guy, right? And Liverpool gets in, and I'm a Barcelona guy. And we were talking on my show on Friday. It's like, we both certainly are pulling for teams that we don't necessarily like, but we just need the other guys to lose.
Exactly. That's true. So what are your thoughts on the Champions League game?
I didn't get to see a ton of it, but I did see the Salah takedown, which was just, I thought it was pretty gross. It's like
it was
part
disgusting.
armbar there.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
It was pretty bad.
And it's like clearly the best player that Liverpool's had. He's had the best season in terms of scoring goals in the EPL since they moved to the current scheduled number of games. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be, I'm a Madrid hater, but 3 in a row. Are you kidding me? You can't argue with that.
That's just my man, Ronaldo, right there. Just brush him off.
It wasn't even him doing all the damage. That's the thing.
It's a pretty face. That's all you need.
Welshman stepped up and had a great game, and I mean, keeper from Liverpool didn't really.
Let's not go there. I know he's still sitting in his room crying. And
Well, there's a public apology
right now.
That tweet that came out that the entire Liverpool was breaking news that the entire Liverpool team was quarantined and they're not allowed to leave Kiev. except for the goalie because he can't catch anything.
Oh.
So it's pretty rough. But poor guy, he's gonna get it for the next year or
Next year? No. Let's continue that. It's gonna be the next 3-4 years.
You know
Depending what team you end up on.
A best case scenario is that's forgotten in a year because Liverpool gets a chance to do this again. It will be remembered until they win champions.
See, as United supporters,
There's no
never
opportunity
forget
for
it,
these
and
folks
we'll
anymore.
always
There you
remember
go.
that
That's
they
true.
never made it.
Yeah.
And of course, another quick thing, we do got to point out we did call it 3-1 final.
Yeah.
So-
both of us said in the last show.
If you listen to us and put the money down on that, congratulations on your
You're
win.
talking Champions League, not Friday's
Champions
match.
League.
Portland?
Champions League, yeah, the Champions League.
Sorry, my apologies. Still champions.
Yeah. But I mean, really, thanks Ryan for being on the show and taking time to sit with us, and also for doing the color commentary, and it was absolutely fantastic to have you here.
Hopefully you join us again.
My pleasure. Yeah, I think I'm trying to clear the deck summer-wise so I can do a bunch more home games here, and who knows? I've got twin 2.5-year-old maniacs that hands full, and weekends are typically. You don't want to leave both the maniacs or one parent, but it's been a pleasure. And you know what? I just think there's such an excitement level around this team, what Tommy's created, and what the future holds with Cavalry and the CPL. That absolutely,
Definitely agree.
Why wouldn't you try to get out here as much as you can? For those who haven't been, like, good setup here, beer gardens, food trucks, and you know, there's capacity. There's lots of seats there, and a football team that doesn't lose on, you know, home pitch.
No.
This is
very
once
rare
in 4
occasion.
years they've lost, and they should have won about 4-1 today or 3-0, something like that. But we'll take, I suppose they will take a.
You'll take a point all day, every day. So
Yeah, exactly.
Not ideal, but 4 out of 6 ain't bad.
no, definitely not. Well, once again, I guess thank you very much for tuning in, and
Thank you, Ryan, once again. Simon,
it's Harry. Take her easy.
Ryan.
To swing on down, and stop. You know what I'm saying? So he could get on. Now this is what we doing. We playing the role of that sweet chariot, and we swinging down to pick you up.